When people come and beat you because you're protesting, that is not right.
Three men cornered me. I was punched in the head. I went down. The camera was gone.
This is one of my many injuries that I have from having the camera pulled off of me and basically strangling me.
He picked up a rock about that big, weighing 10-15 pounds, held it over my head, said he was going to smash my head in.
And at that point, one of the loggers fired up his chainsaws and began to cut down the tree I was in.
Interfor and environmentalists have been battling over the construction of a logging road in the ancient rainforest today.
Serious allegations against some Interfor employees tonight.
Keep it civil. Hey, come on, man.
Keep it civil.
Well, come on. This isn't civil.
Well, we don't want our fucking picture taken, okay?
You don't want anybody getting hurt either. Come on, hey.
Well, we don't want you fucking taking pictures either.
Hey, let go of the camera.
Don't fuck me around, mister.
Are we counting?
I don't know.
Yeah, one. How many are there? Unlawful arrest! Unlawful arrest!
We demand the government of British Columbia step in and do their duty and make this a national park.
It's Friday the 17th day of September 9th.
These are the oldest known living Douglas fir trees in all of Canada. Some of these trees are over 1,300 years old. It means they were born, as it were, about the time of Muhammad. They're older than the oldest cathedrals in Europe, and they're only several hour drive from Vancouver. It's amazing that they've survived to be still with us today at the end of the 20th century. So we know now that we are standing on the front line of grizzly bears in North America. At one time, grizzly bears existed all the way south to Mexico on the coast of North America, and they've been eliminated. Everywhere south from here, they've been exterminated, and here we stand on the southern limit of their coastal habitat. Since 1995, we and many people have been working hard to get this area preserved as a national park, and we have support from members of Parliament, Whistler, the village of Whistler. Many of their councillors are supporting us, but so far it hasn't stopped International Forest Products from continuing to cut down trees like these in horrible clear cuts. And so some of their clear cuts they allow to dry out and they burst into flames. It's been real heartbreaking. And lately, a group of young people have taken to peacefully standing in the way of the machines. And I really got to take my hats off to them because, it's a desperate situation.
The reason that I'm up here, sitting in this tree, is to stop the logging that's going on of the last pocket of old growth in the Stoltmann area here. And, I myself, I just came up. I was only going to stay overnight. I wanted to come and help with the protest. And I ended up coming up into the tree because I really felt that this is the only way we were going to let people know what we are doing.
There is conflict in the forest, and we have the responsibility, the adults, the mature people, to find a solution to the conflict rather than telling the youngsters that they can go and jump in the lake.
They're very brave individuals, and they're following their heart, and I think they represent the best of what it means to be a Canadian.
Tree sit is in between falling area where they're cutting down trees for a new road and a blasting area where they have to blast rock out of the way for the new road as well. So being in the middle of both of those, we're within the safety zone where they cannot do either. We're within a tree's length of the trees they would be cutting, and within 50 yards of where blasting would take place, which would be extremely dangerous for the sitters.
I'm not suspended in midair. I'm just right attached to the tree here. I am about 100 feet off the ground, though, about 30 meters or so, and so that'll present a little challenge for them, but they have some specialists who I'm sure will take good care of me.
There was some better management by the logging companies in the other areas of this TFL. There'd be more than enough wood to spare this Stoltmann Wilderness area and keep some sort of legacy for future generations.
Dialogue, we need education, we need a better economic utilization of the resource, which we are giving away for a song, so to say. I'm referring to stumpage fees. We need to re-examine a lot, and the movement of the youth is a signal to all of us that we must take seriously.
I'm very pleased to see this new development with these folks peacefully standing in front of the bulldozers, and I hope they remain safe.
But we have been getting visits 3 times a day by Interfor employees, and with threats, yelling at us, and they come around and trash your camp a bit and look around a lot.
Since 1994, we have seen a number of incidences where peaceful environmentalists have been set upon by loggers and beaten up and had their equipment burned. And the granddaddy of it all happened on September 15th, where 100 loggers showed up and beat the heck out of about 8 peaceful environmentalists.
And it happened very fast. They came into camp, and a great big guy with a blue shirt on destroyed the satellite phone antenna first. And then all the assaults started happening within minutes or seconds.
And they just started coming towards us and ripped down the camp.
Took our personal belongings, took books, took art supplies, took drums, took cameras, took tents, took sleeping bags, took everything that they could possibly take and just throw it in a big fire and burn it down.
There were over 50 loggers throwing rocks, jeers, taunting, and at that point one of the loggers fired up his chainsaws and began to cut down the tree I was in. After that he stopped because someone told him better, and then he lashed out in anger and cut down a tree next to mine in an attempt to fall it on me, and it went the other way, and then he fell one more tree, and that tree fell on an Interfor truck in the center of where all the men were standing.
The people who were on suspension were there to assault us again. People who don't work, I mean, there's only 2 or 3 guys that work on this work site normally, so how did 100 guys all know to come here at the same time? Dave Miller, the operations manager for Interfor, was the head honcho on the ground. He's on site watching the whole thing happen.
Is it your right to come in with 100 loggers and beat up those people? Is that Interfor's right to use violence? Even though they may be able to log in this, I mean, is it right for you to use violence to discourage people from protesting? Is that freedom? Is that democracy? Well, I don't think so.
Interfor's corporate policy.
Is that sane? Is that human?
I don't know. Are you saying?
What do you have to say about that? Well, maybe you need to be held accountable.
Well, first of all, none of these allegations have been proven, so I can't comment.
Well, there's no evidence from Miller's standpoint, I guess, because his guy says that the main piece of evidence was taken away and thrown in the river. But, there is evidence. There's the testimony of the people that were beaten up, and some pictures survive.
He said, I got 50 guys behind me, and 50 more coming within the next half hour, and if you guys don't get the hell out of here, I'm not going to be able to control them anymore, and someone's going to get hurt.
I was at the bottom of a huge dog pile of I don't know how many people on top of me, with the camera under my breast, in between my arms, like this, and I was on a rock embankment with my friend wrapped around my back, a friend wrapped around his back, and we were down on the ground, and then a whole bunch of men came and piled on top of us. And I was literally being crushed.
Sheree was beaten up within feet from me, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to watch in my life. She's a good friend, she's a woman, and just watching her get pummeled by like 10 loggers.
All I kept thinking was that somebody was going to die. And I couldn't really grasp the idea that that possibly might be me, because I didn't want to die like that.
And one guy was holding her head, like actually off the pile, holding her head, and the other people were holding her body. And there was another guy trying to pull the camera bag through her neck.
Shredder had the camera, and I was trying to get close to her to try and hold on to the camera, and they kept pushing me, and then one guy hit me.
It's so weird talking about this. I haven't really told many people about how I've just been feeling my own selfish feelings and stuff. I've been trying to stick with the group and the group feeling and everything, but I'm afraid that I still could die, because I have in my mind, I recorded right from the very beginning when the trucks started showing up. I recorded the trucks as they were coming in. I recorded the faces of the people who were driving the trucks. I recorded them standing at the end of the bridge, having conversations about attacking our camp and raping me and beating the shit out of me. And I recorded them ripping our banners down. I recorded some damaging of property. I don't understand how they felt they could ever get away with it. There's so much evidence. I got the shit kicked out of me.
This is the Interfor employee, Mr. Haffey. This is his video camera. This is the young woman who would soon be on the ground being beaten as they worked to get her camera off her chest.
I find it interesting that, you know, your men would see me coming and they'd run so quickly. And is that because they're afraid of being identified, or are they just seriously afraid of the media?
We don't want confrontation. We promise not
I didn't
to
want
have
confrontation either. I just wanted to simply look at some faces and point them out and tell the media that this is who assaulted me and almost murdered me.
Yeah, and it's wild, you know, everybody standing around the whole time yelling and laughing and screaming, you know, don't worry, we'll never get caught. The cops aren't going to get here in time. You know, you've got no evidence. It was quite an intimidating thing.
I had the tape that had everything on it. Everything. I had the conversations. I had the conversation that James had with Derek Sales, and Derek Sales saying, I can't control my people. And he was basically saying if we didn't get out of there, that his people were going to come down and beat the shit out of us. And that's what they did.
Protesters say they were violently assaulted during a clash with loggers in the area. And today they took their protest out of the woods and gathered at the home of the company's CEO in Vancouver.
No more violence in the woods. No more violence in the woods. No more violence.
We're protesting too.
Are you?
Yeah.
To protect the trees?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we have a treehouse over there. It's really cool. So we want to keep it. We don't want him to tear them down. Yeah.
Well, did you know one of those other guys? You know that guy that you asked to leave your tree?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was up in a tree too, and the loggers tried to cut it down when he was in the tree.
He got arrested?
Yeah.
For how long?
He still has to go to court.
Do you want a sticker?
Then when the police came, they let all the people go that tried to kill Kevin in the tree, and they arrested him for sitting in a tree and doing a political action.
When I heard that, I was so angry that I'm going to go out there myself on the 28th and offer myself for arrest.
Put me outside the police station and take me home after I sign the undertaking. What police station would that be? Well, I don't know.
Good morning, Betty.
We
You remember me from Clockwood Sound?
How could
I've got
your wonderful
face. Thank you very much.
This
I'm
area
hearing
belongs
William
to the
McNaughton
people of
and
British
J.T.
Columbia.
Bogardus, counsel
These
for the
trees belong
plaintiffs.
to me, they belong to my
Angela McHugh,
grandchildren,
appearing
they
for the
belong to
Western Canada
everybody's
Wilderness
grandchildren.
Committee,
They
and
do
no one
not
else
belong
appearing,
to
although
Interfor. Yes, you're going to have to carry me because I will not leave here peacefully. I won't leave here peacefully. This is my place. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to these people who stood here with me. It belongs to future generations, and I do not leave it peacefully.
Okay. And,
Long live the old growth of this valley! Woo! Of this wilderness! Of our future, our kids' future!
May it live longer than we do.
May it live here forever!
and again, I just want to be absolutely clear on this, that you are under lawful arrest, and if you resist that, then you may well be facing a criminal charge in the criminal courts of British Columbia of resisting an arrest. And that
Sir, the criminality of this is so ridiculous. The criminality of Interfor in destroying these forests that I can't even comprehend really any comparison at all of what you say. No, I won't come. No, you have to carry me. I won't come.
All right.
I'm going to just take you under the legs and the shoulder.
All right, Betty.
This has been a very tough campaign to preserve what I think is will become Canada's finest national park. conservationist vehicles. Their windows have been smashed. Their tires have been flattened. People have been threatened. There was even an instance where a conservationist earlier who was chained to a block of cement trying to block the machines was almost burned alive with gasoline thrown by one of the people in the industry. It's been a very tough fight. In all cases, the conservationists remained absolutely peaceful and sort of defenseless.
I put my legs in the fire for you, buddy. It's gonna be, you'll lose it.
Hey!
Whoa, guys!
Hey!
Come on, keep it civil, guys, man. Keep it civil. Keep it civil. Hey, come on, man.
Keep it civil.
Well, come on. This isn't
Yeah,
civil.
we don't want our fucking picture taken, okay?
We don't want anybody getting hurt. Hey,
Well, we don't want you fucking taking pictures either.
Hey, let's go with the camera.
Don't fuck me around,
I'm not
mister.
trying to fuck
Well,
you
don't
around.
fucking take pictures then.
Come on.
No, I don't want to be fucking nice. Hey, Charlie!
Come on, guys. Hey, come on, guys. Come on. Buddy, careful.
Now you can take your fucking pictures.
Yeah, looks like it.
Meanwhile, the loggers who trashed the protesters' camp have come forward. They explain their frustrations today.
We just like those people to stay away. We like the environmentalists to stay away. If they want to go camping out in the valley, it's a beautiful valley, go camping. Leave us alone. Don't stop us from going to work. There was no violence that I could see.
And I was kicked in the kidneys, punched in the head, someone jumped on my knees.
After about an hour, they had some of it packed up, so I asked them again to leave. You know, they're basically taking too long. Could you hurry it up a bit? And they had a good 2 hours, and then finally they did. And everything that was left in their campsite, we put in a pile and we burnt it. It was all garbage and junk.
I had a beautiful leather pouch that I used to keep my tobacco in that my grandmother gave me from when she was young. It had a zipper on it. My tobacco case, they took that from me and burned it. Burned my tent, my sleeping bag.
Things progressed very quickly that they just started burning the whole camp. We were given 10 minutes to get out. There was extreme verbal violence, death threats especially, as well as rape threats against the women.
I don't fight for unjust causes, I fight for just causes, and I was in the right in that place, and they were wrong, and I'm really sorry about that. It's really unfortunate, because now they have to suffer the consequences, and it's not a matter of letting them get away with this, because I can't, and I'm sorry about that.
I would encourage anyone who wishes to do so to write a little note to the Prime Minister about this and find every possible channel to develop pressure, because in the end politicians understand pressures very well. And in a democratic society we need pressures from interested segments of the population for the things that people value very highly, and this is one of them.
When you come here and you see this forest and you think about how old these trees are, and you think about all the places that have been completely clear-cut, they don't have these forests anymore. You know, some people just sort of go with their conscience, and they don't turn back in the face of these kind of violent activities, and that's why I say I think these people, these conservationists who are sitting up in the trees, and they represent the best of Canadian society. They're brave people and they're peaceful people.
Oh no, you're losing my connection. Okay. All right, here we go. Doesn't that feel good?
Keep it civil. Hey, come on, man.
Don't fucking take pictures.
Come on, be nice. Come on.
Well, I don't want to be fucking nice, okay?
so infuriated me that so many men would beat peaceful protesters, and particularly a woman. That just solidified the thing in my mind about what my actions were going to be. I had already talked to PATH people and offered my support in various ways, but I hadn't really made up my mind to go out to the blockade until that occurred. And that just so infuriated me that I didn't sleep that night. And I told my daughter, well, I think I'm facing another jail session because I just can't tolerate that. I just cannot let that go unanswered. Well, actually, the older grandchildren are quite proud. They go around telling their friends, oh, my grandma's in jail again. She's a tree hugger. And the little ones don't quite understand why I'm in jail, and it worries them somewhat, but I've just written them some letters and reassured them that everything is fine, that they're not to worry, that it's just that it's a fight over trees, and that Grandma's trying to save some trees for their children. Particularly makes me furious about William Sauter, who is the chancellor of UBC, and he's the chair and the principal stockholder in Interfor. Now here is this man, he's esteemed in the community, esteemed in the university. Young people are supposed to be learning how to emulate his success, and this is what they're emulating. You know, Interfor has one of the worst logging practices, certainly in Canada, that this man won't even stand up and offer an apology for the thuggery that's happened under his watch, under his command, under his leadership. Democracy is under attack. It's in peril, and unless people stand up and try to protect it, then it's not going to last. And in a few years, not only will our forests all be gone, but any hope of democracy will be gone too, and corporate rule will be the rule of the day.